GT Medicine, GRC. Topic is a study of spectrum of acute kidney injury amongst patients admitted in Central Railway Hospital, Garden Reach over a period from April 2001 to March 2012. Dr. Bannon.
Very good morning to all my respected judges, my respected teachers and my dear colleagues. Today I am here to present a study based on the spectrum of acute kidney injury amongst patients of Central Hospital, Garden Reach. So acute kidney injury, as we all know, which was previously known as acute renal failure, manifests by functional and structural abnormality which shows rapid decline in the glomerular filtration rate within a period of 48 hours. And as a result, there is retention of blood urea nitrogen, creatinine and other waste products, and also there is decrease in the urine output to the extent of less than 0.3 ml per kg body weight for a span of 6 hours or even more. Now, 5% of in-hospital admissions worldwide is comprising of patients of AKI, and among these 5%, 30% of admissions take place in intensive care unit. And this really shows that the mortality and morbidity associated with patients of AKI are markedly raised. And more importantly, AKI takes place because of a wide spectrum of diseases, and the etiology of the same varies from region to region. So the study was undertaken basically to establish three factors. Firstly, to analyze the spectrum of conditions or diseases that causes AKI. Secondly, to assess the mortality rates of AKI patients and the underlying factors influencing the same. And finally, we wanted to find out the outcome of patients who were kept on various modalities of treatment like conservative management, hemodialysis or peritoneal dialysis. So the study was based on patients attending the Central Hospital of Garden Reach who presented with acute kidney injury and was undertaken over a period of around 13 years from April 2001 to March 2012. This long study period is because of the fact that AKI incidents are not that common. So the study design was a retrospective cross-sectional one, and it was conducted over 208 patients. Now these patients were mainly patients of coming to the clinic of our own hospital, and also patients who were referred by various divisional and zonal hospitals. The total number of cases, which was 208, comprised of almost 0.97% of the indoor admissions. Now patients who were admitted with or who at certain stage of their stay developed features of AKI were included in the study. Whereas patients who were already known case of chronic kidney disease or who had an acute manifestation of a pre-established chronic kidney disease or patients who were hypertensive or diabetic over a span of more than 5 years were excluded from the study. Now out of the 208 patients that we received, 124 were males and the remaining were females. Most of them belong to the 4th and 5th decades of their life. The diagnosis of the same was made on the background of history, clinical findings, and certain routine and special investigations. 47 of those patients did renal biopsy. The decision of biopsy was based on equivocal case history and also on renal signs suggestive of glomerular diseases, interstitial nephritis, or other systemic diseases with a renal manifestation. So this is the spectrum of the patients of ARS based on the various etiologies. So as you can see, the lion's share is by the acute tubular necrosis and also by septicemia. Others like glomerulonephritis or drug-induced AKI is also on the list. Causes like malaria and leptospira are among the leading infective causes. Some other causes involve snakebite, contrast-induced, post-surgical, multiple myeloma, and other causes like connective tissue disorders. So these five basically shows the distribution, which has already been explained. And now this is a comparison of what is the international data as per with respect to whatever we have found. So if we compare the two data, the line which is blue at the top we can see is the data of our own hospital, and the line which is white at the bottom of it is the world data. So we can see cases of ATN are almost statistically compatible, whereas cases like septicemia and other cases like the drug-induced are more in our settings. So among the 118 patients that needed dialysis, 84 were oliguric. Indications of dialysis was based on clinical or biochemical parameters like uremic syndrome, pericardial rub, a significant fluid overload, hyperkalemia, metabolic acidosis, or a blood urea level more than 250. So 103 patients needed hemodialysis, while 15 patients needed peritoneal dialysis. So this is based year-wise distribution of the AKI patients who were kept on various formulations of the treatment. As you can see in the graph, with the increase in time from 2007 to 2012, more and more patients have been kept under hemodialysis. This is mainly because of the increasing infrastructure and better facilities available to the patients. So patients during dialysis, once again we see patients of ATN and septicemia and the lion's share. Other causes are also in the list. Now this is the pie chart to show the distribution of the same, and this is the international data. So if we compare the two, once again we can see sepsis is one reason that has got a very high incidence in this setup as compared to international data, whereas others like snakebite are slightly on the lower side. So among the patients studied, 42 had faced termination, that is mortality. Most of them were patients of multi-organ failure or patients with cardiovascular risk. 29 of them were from hemodialysis and 87% patients were from PD-1 dialysis. This is mostly because PD patients were hemodynamically unstable and had MOF already. 19 patients continued to have renal impairment. This is a mortality statistic. As you can see, septicemia is on a steep rise with the growing time, and other cases like glomerulonephritis is also on the rise, whereas patients with infective causes like malaria are on a declination. So based on various studies like PICO, Athens study, Reichel criteria and Hathi study, which is done in our own SJP institute in India, following 3 sessions were made. Firstly, in absence of hemorrhagic shock, we suggest the using of isotonic crystalloids rather than colloids. Secondly, vasopressors in conjunction with fluids are recommended. And finally, AKI patients are to be followed once in 3-week interval. Some of the newer markers like KIM1 and MGAL are also on the list. So to conclude, I would say a significant number of AKI patients are due to ATN and septicemia. Deaths are more in the group undergoing peritoneal dialysis. More than 52 patients of ATI have needed dialysis support, and deaths were lesser than those reported from other eastern part of the India. And deaths were more in patients with septicemia and cardiovascular disease. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Banerjee. We have also kept your time, and your presentation was very good. Is there anybody who would be wanting to discuss this further or ask some questions to Dr. Banerjee? Okay. So, thank you, Banerjee, for your presentation. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Dr. Hashim. He is ADMO Palghat. He will be presenting a paper on massive blood transfusion. Dr. Hashim.